Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this LED magnifying glass on an adjustable arm. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful, I'll put a link to this in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So I had been considering getting a lamp like this for a while, but the previous generation used fluorescent lights in them, and I was waiting for LED to be more commonplace, and now you can easily get the LED versions. So these should last a long time. So here are the specifications. It says LED 42 SMD, that's surface mount device LED light. The charge is 5 volts at 2 amps. The magnifying glass is 5x LED magnifying glass. I think this is actually 2.25, so 2.25x. Material is aluminum alloy plus metal plus K9 optical glass. 3 color options. Our magnifier desk lamp comes with 3 kinds of color: white, warm white, and yellow, and 10 brightness levels. So it has some warnings here, like 1, do not put this in direct light. So you want to make sure this isn't near a window, and you could just cover the magnifying glass up. You'd have to be very careful though, because you don't want it to start a fire on accident. So let's take a look at what we have in the box. So this runs on USB power. So we have a little power brick here. So this outputs 5 volts at 2 amps. I actually didn't know this was going to come with a power outlet. So I have plenty around, but now I have another one. So the nice thing about this being USB powered is that you can power it from, a wall outlet, a power brick, a car, RV. There are lots of different ways to power this. So here is the clamp. So this clamps to your desk or table. So it looks pretty beefy. It's a large piece of aluminum here. It has rubber on the front and the top and on the clamping pad, and you turn this to tighten it, and then it's threaded here. I'm not sure what that's for, so I'll get the rest of the pieces out. Looks like we have a polishing pad. Here's the arm. So we have a kind of adjustable arm. These are pretty common on lamps and such. And then here we have the magnifying lens. Okay, I read the directions here. This can actually unscrew here, and you can screw it in here. So you could clamp this on the back of something. So if you had like a table, desk, or a bench, you could clamp it on like this, or you could clamp it on like so. And then you can take this off and mount it here. So I do want it in that orientation. I'm going to clamp this to my bench. And I'll measure this. So the full opening is 2 3/4 inches, but I think this thing's probably about 1/4 inch, so that would be about 2.5 inches, I think. Okay, I have that attached to my bench. Guess I can put this in here now. So I'll loosen this up. Pull the magnifying lens out. So I'm just cleaning this with a microfiber. So this is the magnifying glass mount. I'll loosen this up here. I'll spread this apart. So I want to run the wire up through here. And I'll mount that in there like that. So you want to mount this at whatever angle you want. I'll do it about like that. Okay, there's also an adjuster here so you can tighten and loosen this to move it around. So I'm going to clear my bench off here. I'll plug the adapter into the USB port of the light. I'll plug that in. I'm getting a lot of glare with my camera light, so I'll turn that off. And now we'll look at the light control. So we have a remote. I can press on. So that is on, and then the middle button will change the color temperature. So that looks like white, soft white, and the yellow. Let me see if I put a cloth under there maybe. So that's kind of the white, warm white. Okay, that's the white. I'm not great with color temperature. That's sort of a cooler color. That's sort of a white, and that's more of a yellow. So then we have the up and down, which will change the intensity. So we can turn that down and up. And I guess I could turn this around so you can see the light directly. So this is the light we're dealing with. And that can dim. So that's the lowest. Let me set the exposure at the highest level. And I'll lock this in place. Now I'll lower it. Maybe we can get better representation. So that's the lowest. And that's the highest. So we can see in here, here's my hand, and here is an item I can put under there. So here's a little microprocessor. Maybe I'll try and move the camera over So here it is under the magnifying glass, and here it is outside of it. Like if I pull this out from the magnifying glass, I cannot read the text on there. But under the magnifying glass, I can see it says Espressif ESP32 C3 Mini-1. That's very difficult for me to read with my bare eyes. But you can adjust this magnifying glass to achieve the correct focal length for your task at hand. So my eyes aren't getting any better. I think this is going to be very useful around the shop, especially when working on small electronics and then also woodworking. I've had a scroll saw sitting in my workshop for years now, and I don't use it anymore because I can't see the blade very well. So I can mount this to the bench and focus in on the blade, and it also has the light there too to give me lots of light. So it'll make seeing that a lot easier. So another nice feature of this is that you can plug it into a battery pack. So I'll unplug this from the adapter. I've got a battery pack here. I'll plug it into this. I'll press on the controller. And there we're controlling it from the battery pack. So even in my shop when I'm using my scroll saw, I could hook a battery pack up to this so I don't have to run another cord to my saw, because I usually just plug it into an extension cord. I don't have to run a second extension cord. This has so many applications for it. You could use it for sewing. You could use it for just general reading. You could put like a magazine under here to read it, or a book. You could use it for crafts, model making. There's so many uses for these. And as I said earlier, these now have LED lights, so they're going to run cooler. They're going to run longer. They're not going to burn out. They're going to have more even light. So now's the time to buy one of these if you've been putting it off for years, because the technology is so much better. Another thing I like about this is it has a glass lens on it as opposed to a plastic lens, so you don't have to worry about it fogging over after a couple weeks. So here's a zoomed out view of the whole light. So this can move like such, and you can loosen this up to reduce the friction. So you can move this low. So you could have this up higher and then hold your hands under it with whatever you're trying to magnify, or you could put it real close down to your desk or your table. This will also swivel around too. Then you can lock it in place. So that's the LED magnifying glass desk lamp with an adjustable arm. I think this is a great addition to my workbench, especially as I get older. My eyes aren't as good, and this will really help me complete my projects. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.